Welcome to All Clear Firefighter Wellness, where we seek ways to improve ourselves and those around us and light our fire within. Welcome to All Clear Firefighter Health and Wellness. Boy, it's been a long time. I finally have Mr. Von McAfee joining us today. You've been a partner in crime for a lot of stuff. You're with SelectWell. You're going to tell us a lot about what we got going on. This is also our safer lead up. We have a big conference here in North Carolina, but a lot of what's coming out of this will affect firefighters across the country. So, Von, it's been at least 3 years since I've tried to get you on here, but you're far too busy of a man, but we finally got you pegged down. So why don't you tell us who you are, what you're doing, and give us some good news.
All right. My name is Von McAfee, and I'm Vice President of Marketing and Business Development for Select Laboratory Partners and SelectWell. And I'm acting as the pretty much East Coast representative for our SelectWell Firefighter Heart Health Program and the things that we've been doing across the Southeast, expanding into areas of the Northeast and central parts of North Carolina. We have another representative out west who does what I do. But yes, my main objective has been to extend the life of the firefighter through our Heart Health Program and working closely with Brenda Superco, Gina Calhoun, who's one of the local clinical educators with our organization, and our internal lab folks, and of course, Dr. Robert Superco, who founded the program, to ensure that firefighters are heart healthy and that they're taking care of themselves and, extending their life cycle to enjoy their family as long as they can.
Well, it's good to have you here, Vaughn. I've known you for quite a few years. I know the department I work for, we utilize SelectWell for our physicals and blood work and things like that. And I'm not going to sing the praises on this episode necessarily, but you guys are top shelf on what you do. And so that kind of leads into something very important. This year at SAFER, which will be in Raleigh, North Carolina, it'll actually be next weekend from the time you're hearing this on Friday. We are going to be teaching a class, the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer Alliance. We have put together a program in cooperation with SelectWell, where it looks at a comprehensive approach to firefighter wellness, kind of, looking at it holistically. We realize that, cancer is a problem in the fire service. But the good news is it's not a problem that's unknown. We know how to look for it. We know what preventative steps we can take. But what we figured out is that, well, if your mind's not in the right place, fighting cancer is hard to do. If your heart's not in the right place, it's hard to do. If you're not physically fit and well, whether that be your heart health, whether that be your blood sugar, there are so many factors that go in. We have to look at it holistically. And if you've watched the podcast for any time at all, you've seen Brenda Superco, Dr. Superco. We've had some really smart people on here that all bring a little piece of it. Truman Thompson, he's been on here too, talking about the value of doing like ultrasound scans and preventative scans. So we're excited about this. So Vaughn, why don't you tell us what your team is going to be bringing to the table?
Well, yeah, I think it's very important that as we entered into this particular initiative that we begin to learn a whole lot more about firefighters and their daily activities, what really is important in terms of ensuring that they are prepared to service the community that they service. And, obviously we started out from a heart health standpoint, but as we began to do these physicals for these various departments, they began to ask more questions about some of the other services that we could provide. And of course, we know through some statistics that the number one killer of firefighters, and in most cases, is from a disease standpoint as cancer, and then heart health, and then mental health. But we
Yeah.
began to dig into, the heart health piece, and firefighters began to ask more questions about some of the other uh, um, services we offer, and cancer was a large part of that. Select Laboratories and Select Well being a laboratory company, we're able to offer the services that we need, the lab services, extensive lab testing, including PFAS testing at a significant discounted price. And because we're actually doing the work, in addition to doing the actual physical, we're able to provide a service, a low cost service for fire departments across the state. And again, expanding that into other parts of the country. But it was through a discussion that we had, you and I, Travis, about, you know, firefighter heart health and what else we could do as you were expanding the definition of the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer Alliance, which now became North Carolina Firefighter Cancer and Wellness, because we are big into wellness. And so
Yep.
we will be presenting, I say we, Dr. Robert Saperco is going to be a speaker. Dr. Saperco will be talking more about understanding the vulnerability of firefighters. He'll describe a lot about the physical disease, which is the science behind our program. And a lot of people have been asking a lot about that because, obviously when they've had physicals in the past, they've really not dug into what that really meant, and why certain things are done. But Dr. Saperko will really talk a lot about that. And so he's a great speaker, a great academic teacher and professor as it relates to that. And every time I sit in a room with him, I get excited because I learn something new. And so, I'm excited about that. He'll talk a little bit more about that, as well as the professional physical demands that firefighters are under in just doing their day-to-day activities, which also impacts their heart health. Some of those things I'm sure he talked about on his podcast, but the weight that you're carrying is demand in terms of the uniform, the equipment, hydration, obviously, eating correctly, getting plenty of sleep, those things are critical as well. But he will be focused on those kind of things. So I'm excited about listening to what he has to say. And then, obviously his wife, Brenda, who's our director of our program, and I work very closely with, probably talk 3 to 4 times a day, and we strategize a lot. And she helps me in coordinating a lot of efforts to ensure that the program meets the needs of the various firefighters and departments across the country. She'll be talking a little bit more about heart health and the numbers. And so when you have our heart health panel draw on you during our physical exam process, our blood draw, understanding the numbers, understanding the scales, the portals, why one test may be flagged high because of the results of another test. And she'll be able to explain a lot of that. And those are the type of things you learn when you go through our discrete lab review after you have those tests drawn. I think firefighters are finding that there's things that they're learning that otherwise they would never have learned before. And you're telling us that they learn a lot from that. She'll be talking about those numbers as well as the identifying some of the nutritional needs. She's very keen on those kinds of things and why, we really need to change the lifestyle of the firefighters. I've been in a couple firehouses and watched some of the stuff that's cooked, which is good, smells good, and can't say I haven't.
Not good for you all the
It's
time.
not good for you all the time, and I can't say I haven't sat down and eaten sometimes, but it is very important that they really look at the things that are impacting their heart health, the metabolic health, because we know metabolic disease is an indicator of heart disease, and so we got to really keep an eye on that and try to support one another. What we're finding, Travis, at least from what I've seen, is that it's become more of a support network. I've seen firefighters talk to other firefighters and encourage them through day-to-day activities when they see them maybe taking a turn for the worse and may not be eating correctly, or they kind of they place non-financial bets on each other to try to ensure that each one is getting better at what they're doing and becoming more physically fit. And I think that's good. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the military, and so I'm excited when I see that. Brenda will also focus on insulin resistance. We know again that that is
Very big.
important by some of the testing that we do in our heart health panel. And so she will be speaking a lot about that. So there's a lot of things that are that the firefighter is vulnerable to. Um, and so as we um, move into the cancer testing arena, slowly moving or at least adding that as a part of our services, in addition to the heart health panel, I think she's going to do a great job of explaining a lot of that. One of the other things that we're doing is we were asked by another organization, VFIS, to come and talk a little bit more about the cancer piece. And that's not our main focus right now, but just understanding the cancer modalities and what those are, I think is
Yep.
important for a lot of people to know, because I don't think a lot of times they really understand what a PSA is versus a CEA
Hmm.
versus a CA 125. So we want to talk a little bit about that and just educate the firefighter public on what some of those things are. Obviously you've had Truman Thompson on here, who's one of our
Oh,
vendors.
absolutely.
Yeah, from a ultrasound perspective. So when you look at what we do as an organization from a blood testing standpoint, together with the ultrasounds and the other things that are coming from our other vendor partner uh, that does the CPETs, I think you're getting a comprehensive picture of the firefighter health. And so all those things that are associated with high risk will be a key part of what we're going to talk about at the Saver Conference this year.
And, you know, one of the things that I'm really excited about, Vaughn, you talked about Doctors Perko and Brenda. When you get them in the same room at the same time, there is a lot of knowledge that starts flying. And when you start running in Truman Thompson and, you know, bringing you in the room, folks that have been all over and traveled and seen, this is going to be a heck of a class. And I think everybody needs to understand that some of the smartest people in the firefighter health and wellness arena are going to be in this room. And it'll be 10 o'clock at the Raleigh Civic Center downtown. And it'll be put on by the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer and Wellness Alliance now. That'll be happy news that we got coming out too. And we'll be talking a little bit about that. But so, Vaughn, are you guys going to have a booth there at the show?
Yes, we are. We're going to be in booth 221. We're pretty excited about that. We tried to find a strategic place that will give us the most visibility um, for our product and what we're going to be presenting. We will also be doing offering a discount on the blood draw for a lot of people who are interested in just having the firefighter heart panel performed on them. And we've had a couple of chiefs at some of the other um, conferences that have taken advantage of that. And it was after
Mm-hmm.
they had that done and they sat down with our clinical consultant, like Gina and some of the others, Brenda, um, they actually decided to move over and have us perform all their NFPA physicals. Um, and so, or 1582 physicals. And so it was that really woke them up and said, hey, you know what? This is something we've never gotten before. And we want to know more about it. So I could tell you we picked up 3 departments at the last show, and we're excited about picking up a few more. So if you want to come by, please stop by our booth. Booth 221 will be down in the exhibit hall, and be more than happy to give you an opportunity to go through the program and experience what it's like, as a test case before you present to some of the other executives and administration. And I think you'll be pleased with what we offer, and you'll be pleased with the results and the impact it could have on your life.
Absolutely. And like I said, our department that I work for professionally, they use SelectWell, and I tell you, there's nothing like it, particularly that one-on-one education you get. It's not just a one-size-fit-all. But the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer and Wellness Alliance, we're going to be up on the mezzanine level in booth 1011. And I think we're going to have Truman Thompson up there with us, who will be demonstrating some of the more advanced ultrasound technology. And I know a few folks that has actually found some very serious conditions prior to them being a problem. So, there's going to be a ton of cool stuff going on. Like I said, we're in 1011, and then Vaughn and his team will be down on the floor. We encourage you to come, check it out. If you want to make a donation to the Cancer Alliance, guess what? We got some cool swag. We got some great new T-shirts. Vaughn will have to get you a shirt. I think you'll dig it. But, we're trying to have fun with this, but it is a very serious topic. But just to let you know, we'll be there. We'll have several of our team there, some of our counselors that work with folks that have peer service issues, peer support. And also, if you have any issues with cancer claims, things like that, please come see us. We'll get you in with the guys over at VFIS that we all work with. And I think it'll be a good time. But anyway, Vaughn, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to jump on with us. And I finally got you on here. And we're going to get you back because you're really smart. You got a lot of stuff to share. But, like I said, I'm just trying to get a little bit of hype going before we go to Safer. And really looking forward to the event. So good to have you with us. And as we always say here on All Clear, light your fire within. That's a wrap for this episode of All Clear Firefighter Wellness. Your host and producer, Travis McAfee, thanks you for tuning in. Remember, the views and opinions shared by our guests may not always reflect those of the host or the team, but we're all here to spark important conversations for firefighter health and wellness. All Clear is proudly supported by the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer and Wellness Alliance. If you enjoyed the show, share it with your crew or someone who needs to hear it. Head over to allclearpodcast.com to leave us a message, catch up on past episodes, or treat yourself to our signature All Clear Blend coffee. Your new morning hero in a cup. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time on All Clear Firefighter Wellness.